Hey guys, how's it going? Happy New Year! It's been a little while since we've talked to each other. Just kidding. No, it hasn't. January did not happen. 2026 starts now. January was a trial month. February is the start of 2026. How does that sound? I think that sounds good for me because of my mental state. My mental state's not bad. It's just, I don't know, maybe it's the winter, maybe it's the cold, but I feel like I have just not had the energy to do anything. And so I kind of want to get out of that funk. And so, what's a better way to get out of that funk than sitting down and recording a podcast episode after, let's call this the Dark Ages? The Dark Ages without the Loose Thoughts podcast. Did you guys survive? Are you guys here? Let's say episode, I don't even know what the last episode was. Episode 15? That was the end of season 1. This is now season 2. Season 2 of the Loose Thoughts podcast. Woo! Oh my gosh. Did you guys catch up on season 1? I hope you did. If you didn't catch up, stop listening to this episode and go binge all of season 1. Okay? Are you done? Okay, good. So, you know what they say. New year, new me. Well, not here on the Loose Thoughts podcast. On the podcast, it's New Year, New Thoughts. Because we have a whole lot of new thoughts to spill and to talk about. So, what's our first thought of the day? I don't know. I swear, whenever I sit down to record podcasts, the loose thoughts aren't loose anymore. They want to hide. Oh, my computer just froze for a second. That was scary. I wonder if that affected the audio. It didn't affect the audio, don't worry. Anyways, as I was saying, whenever I sit down to record a podcast episode, the loose thoughts aren't loose. They freeze. So think of my brain, think of my thoughts as a raging, flowing river. What's a big river? The Amazon River. Does the Amazon River have currents? That sounds like a stupid question. I'm not stupid, guys. I'm very educated. I have a college degree. Anyway, think of my brain as a raging, flowing river. If you were to step into this river, you would be washed away. And that's how my thoughts are 24/7. But when it's teehee, okay, podcast time, let's talk nonstop, suddenly, the river is frozen. The river is frozen from top to bottom. You could walk. It could support 30 tons of weight, and it wouldn't crack. That's how frozen solid my thoughts are right now. But that's okay, because I have a hairdryer, and we are going to thaw this river together. What the hell am I talking about? I don't even know. You guys listen to this podcast? Shout out to you, because shout out to the people that put up with me, because honestly, I don't even know if I could put up with myself. I'm already 4 minutes into recording, and I literally haven't said a damn thing. Did I play the intro? Do I have time for the intro? You know what? Let's throw in the intro right now. We're playing the intro right now. Okay, cue the intro. Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Loose Thoughts podcast. We are going to pretend like that chaotic ass intro did not just happen. Okay? Happy New Year. It is currently 2026, and can you believe it? It is 2026. It felt like 2025 was just yesterday. This is when you're supposed to laugh. Even though that joke didn't really make any sense. Anyways, it is the end of January. Honestly, I feel like January has been going by really slow. Like, I want to say it's February already. I mean, it kind of already is, because at the time of recording this, it is January 27th. And February is only 4 days away. So February is upon us. So let us use this time on the Loose Thoughts podcast to reflect back on what kind of January we've all had. Come on. Are you reminiscing with me? Let me play the harp. You know how in TV shows they have, whenever it's like a daydream sequence or like a dream sequence or something, and then they put the filter on the camera and it goes all like wavy? Is that the right word? Is that the right word? I don't know. It goes wavy and then they play the harp. That's what I'm going to play right now. Cue the harp. Okay, so anyways, first let's start at the end of the year, the end of 2025. And the only thing that I have of note to mention is that we as in my coworkers, like my school, we had like an end of the year party. And after the first location, this was after the second location. So the first dinner party, it was just like a dinner party at this sushi restaurant. And then we played it was a guess the song type game. And then everyone got a little baggie of like different prizes or whatever. Prizes ranged from like candy to like random trinkets or whatever. I don't know. I got a bottle of lotion. I grabbed the bag. I was like, oh, this is kind of heavy. I opened it. It was a bottle of lotion. And the principal, he saw it and he was like, oh, that's a good lotion. I use that every day. I was like, what the fuck? Okay, thanks. I guess I needed some lotion. I was running low. But yeah, and then the second location was just at another little izakaya type restaurant. Izakaya, I don't know how to describe an izakaya for people who don't know what an izakaya is. Think of it as like a pub. It's like a Japanese pub. Yes, moving on. And so after the izakaya, we went to this bar type. No, it was a bar. And they also have karaoke at the bar. And I think that's kind of why I went, because I was like, oh, fuck yeah. Like, I can fuck up some karaoke. Granted, we barely sung karaoke. I sang one song because we also didn't stay for that long. And yeah, that's we didn't stay for that long because it was already really late at this point. We left the second location at like midnight. And so it's like, because I think that restaurant closes at like 11 midnight. And so it's almost 1 a.m. by the time we get to the karaoke bar. But this is what I wanted to mention. When we get to the karaoke bar, there's like a group of older like salarymen already there, like enjoying their Friday night. They probably had an end of the year party too. And so they're already like off in the corner of the bar. The way this bar is set up, it's like seats by the counter of a bar. And then there's like a room off to the side. There's no door. I think it was just kind of like a curtain. But there's like a separate room with like seats and stuff, and they also have like a TV for the karaoke and whatever. It was a group of men in this room over there singing whatever the fuck songs they're singing. And so we get to the bar, like me and my coworkers, we like sit down at the table, we like find our seats because it was kind of a large group of us. I want to say maybe like 10 to 12 of us. I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe even more. But we're all like sitting there. And then the guys, they were already singing karaoke. I don't know what songs they were singing, but they were singing karaoke. And so I'm just sitting at the bar watching the TV playing like the karaoke songs that they're singing. And then all of a sudden, there's a woman on the screen. And I'm like, oh, sometimes depending on the songs, the videos that play for the karaoke songs in Japan, they're a little raunchy. Like, I remember another time, when was this? I think this might have been in summer. I think it was in summer. I went to karaoke with some of my coworkers again. We went to like a it's not a designated karaoke bar. It's like an internet cafe in town, and they also have karaoke rooms. And we went there. And then one of the songs my coworker sang, the girl, she was like dancing around like in her underwear, in her bra and panties. And then she was sitting there just like dancing around, and me and him, we were like, what the fuck? It was so funny because he was like visibly flustered, and he just kept saying like, dame kore, like this isn't good, like this is bad, blah blah blah. And that shit, it was so funny. And then mind you, at the bar, I'm sitting next to this coworker again. And so I'm just sitting there watching the TV, like literally minding my business. And then the girl, she's on screen, she's in her underwear again, and I'm like, oh, why? Like, what type of songs are these guys singing or whatever for this to pop up on the screen? But then it gets worse, and you're probably thinking, Zion, how can it get worse? Well, the girl started undressing, and mind you, she's already in the bare minimum. She's in her bra and her underwear, and she starts taking that off, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh my god. And like, mind you, no one in this bar is saying anything. And I'm like, I feel like I'm visibly taken aback. Like, if you were to see me, my mouth would be agape. My jaw would be on the floor. I was so shocked. I was shocked that they were showing it on like the karaoke machine, because it has to be like a really raunchy song. It must be a really raunchy song. I wish I could remember what the song was, but I was not paying attention to that fact. But it must be like a really dirty song for them to play that kind of video. But also, karaoke machines are family friendly, are they not? Like, what if it's not a raunchy song, and then, or God forbid, it was in like, not necessarily like a bar, but just in like an open karaoke place where there are children or just people that don't want to see that. People that are susceptible to inappropriate things. Like, God forbid you're in like a place like that, and then it's like a normal song until you play this song, and then you just show this girl taking off her bra and underwear. Like, what the hell? But wait, because I thought she was just going to take her bra off, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, it's just her boobs. Like, I guess that's fine. People are always saying free the nip. Guys can take their shirts off. Let girls be able to take their shirts off too. You know what I'm saying? But it gets worse. She takes her underwear off, guys. She takes her underwear off. And at this point, I'm like, what the fuck? And still, no one says anything. Granted, I don't know if anyone else was like watching the TV like how I was watching the TV. I think they were all like talking to each other and blah blah blah. But I'm just like sitting there watching it in awe, in horror, and I'm like, what the hell? And then I'm sitting next to my coworker, and I'm like, this is crazy, right? And he's like, yeah, this is crazy. I can't remember what I said. I probably said some shit like "Yamakine," like literally, like, this is crazy, isn't it? Like, isn't this crazy? And he was just like, yeah. And I was just so shocked. And then the song ended, and I was like, the fuck were those salarymen up to? Because the bartender, it's like an older lady, and I'm assuming her daughter, but like her daughter isn't like, I was gonna say she's not young. That sounds really rude. I didn't mean it like that. But like, she's not like a college student young. Like, that's what I was insinuating. She's probably like middle age. I don't know. And so obviously they were two women. And so I don't know. In my head, that kind of already set off red flags, because I was like, these three salary men in this bar run by two ladies. Like, I hope they're okay, or like, I hope the daughter, she's okay, because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like they wouldn't hit on the older lady, because she was very much like an oba-chan, like an old lady. That also sounds mean. I don't mean that in a mean way, but I feel like they wouldn't try to hit on the oba-chan, but they would try to for the daughter. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping she was okay in that situation before my group showed up. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. That's the party. And then after that, I went home. Oh, what did I sing? I sang Silhouette, the Naruto song that's like, I don't want to get copyright, but if you know, you know. And I sang that song, and it's in Japanese, and my coworkers, they were like, oh, wow, Zion, you're so good at Japanese, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, thanks. No, I'm joking, but I thought that was funny. And yeah, I think that was everything that happened at the work party. And so after the work party, it's winter break, and we still have to go to work. Well, yeah, we still have to. We can take time off, but I didn't want to use my time off just because I want to save it for, like, I don't know, like maybe like spring break or something. Because for spring break, we still have to come to work, even though classes are not in session, but we still have to show up to work, which kind of sucks, but because we don't have anything to do. At least I don't have anything to do. Other teachers, because obviously they're more important, they have shit to get done. I don't have shit to do. I might have talked about this before in the past episode, but school breaks are the worst. Desk warming, the worst. And so I went to work like normal. Well, at my elementary school, I took half days because if I had to stay in my elementary school all day, and mind you, when I got to my elementary schools on those days, no one was there. And so I'm glad I only stayed half days because I would have to be there alone. And when I say no one was there, it was literally like me, the vice principal. But granted, the vice principal left after like 2 hours. The secretary, who was only there for an hour, and then another teacher. And like, I don't talk to this teacher at all. She's like sweet and like really nice, but like, I don't talk to her. And so literally while I was sitting there, it was just me and her in the staff room, and it was silent. No, it wasn't silent because for some reason they had like rainforest sounds playing in the back. And I remember being there and I was like, why the fuck are they playing rainforest sounds? But I guess it's nice because, like, if you are sitting there and it's super quiet, then I don't know. Some people don't like silence. But the other days... Oh, this reminds me, guys. On Christmas night, someone in my town got stabbed down the street from my junior high school. I remember waking up. Christmas was a Thursday, and so Thursday night on Christmas, I had like a Christmas dinner with some other friends, and so I remember driving home from that Christmas thing. I passed like a grocery store that I always go to, and I saw that the road next to the grocery store was blocked off, and there were like a bunch of police cars, and I was like, and mind you, I'm driving home at like 10 o'clock at night. It's pitch black, and I just see the lights of the cop cars. And I was like, like, I wonder why that road is blocked off. In my head, because they're building something next to the grocery store, so in my head, I was like, oh, it must be for, like, construction or whatever. Like, maybe they're redoing the road or something. Like, I didn't really think anything of it. I just drove past. And so I wake up Friday morning. One of my Japanese teacher friends, we have like a group chat. It's her and then some other people. She messages in the group chat, and she's like, she just sends this message, and it's like a message from like the principal from the school that she works at, and the principal explains like the situation. They're like, oh, we're not gonna have any students at school, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, what the heck? And then I also get text messages from the city, from like news, so like weather reports and just stuff like that. And I read that message, and it was like someone got stabbed at the grocery store. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, we're supposed to be in Japan. Mind you, in like a small town in Japan. Like, I feel like that shit doesn't happen. And the guy, he's at large. I still don't think they found him. I don't know. I don't think so. But he was on the loose. And so I was like, what the fuck? I was like, damn, should I still go to work or not? But I did. Because I'm a bad bitch. I think I left in the afternoon. I think I left at like 1 o'clock because I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. But so I get to school, and like I said, this grocery store is literally down the street from my junior high school. Like, I can literally see the police cars out the window from sitting at my desk. And it was also really foggy that morning. It was so creepy. And I had to like walk up to like the front door, and I had to punch the code. No, I didn't punch the code. I don't know the code to the door. I think luckily I walked in the same time as another teacher. And so they punched in the code, and then they opened the door for me. And I was like, thank God. Because I feel like that would have been so awkward if I would have had to ring the doorbell and been like, hi, Zion desu. And been like, hi, akimasu. I'm opening the door. Because I don't know the code. But yeah, that was crazy. So that happened during winter vacation. And then me, just at work, I just sit at my desk and I don't do anything. Sometimes I'll have things to do, like I'll work on like a presentation. And I know for some of the days I was working on like a music quiz, because I like making music games and incorporating music because I listen to a lot of music. And so I was working on that, and then other days I was just reading my fan fiction, my fairy tale fan fiction specifically. So yeah, if you want to read my fan fiction, let me know. DM me. I'll send you the link. I was going to say I'd read it on the podcast, but I don't know. I can't be making promises for the podcast anymore because I said I was going to make a Genshin episode how many months ago? Literally, I think that was probably when I started the podcast, and there has been no Genshin episode. And I don't know if there ever will be a Genshin episode because fuck Genshin. Am I right? And so, I don't know. I'm sure no one wants to hear the podcast anyway. Like I said, if you really want to listen to my fairy tale podcast, which I think is kind of good, low-key, maybe I should read it. It's a good fanfic. But if you want to read it, DM me, and I'll send you the link. Capiche? And then, for New Year's, we do get a week off during winter vacation because, like, the schools close down for New Year's because New Year's is, like, a big holiday in Japan. In the States, I feel like it's kind of opposite. I think Christmas is a bigger holiday than New Year's, but New Year's is a big event. How many times have I said New Year's in the past 30 seconds? Anyway, that's the big holiday in Japan. And so the school closes for a week. And in that week, I didn't really do anything. One day, I hung out with my coworker and his wife and his daughter. Because Loki, I feel like I've kind of gotten him into Pokemon cards. Because I mentioned this like really early in the podcast. Because that was when I like started getting into Pokemon cards. Because of the students, because they would talk about it, and I'd be like, okay, you know what, I like Pokemon, like let me deepen my Pokemon obsession and start getting into Pokemon cards, which low-key, that decision has changed the trajectory of my life. Anyways, I feel like I kind of got him into Pokemon cards too, because he was into card games, like he played Magic, but I don't play Magic, and like I could have learned Magic or gotten into Magic, but I didn't. That sounds so mean. That sounds like he asked me to get into Magic and I didn't. That wasn't the case. I just so happened to get into Pokemon cards, and I would talk to him about it, and so he started getting into Pokemon cards too. And so now sometimes we'll go to card shops and look at Pokemon cards together. And so I think that's really funny. And his daughter likes Pokemon. His daughter's like 3, but she likes Pokemon too. And so she'll bring him, and then his wife will come too. And so I literally just join the family, and we go and do stuff. And so we hung out. We went to some card shops. I've also got him into Pokemon Legends ZA. So I would like talk about it, and then he's like, you know what? Can I get it too? And I was like, yeah, go get it. And then so he bought the game and he started playing the game. And then when the DLC came out, he asked me how to get the DLC. It was so funny because he was like, how can I buy the DLC? And I was like, bro, just like buy it on the eShop. And he was like, how can I pay for it? And and I was like, just use a credit card. Or in my head, I said, or I literally said credit card, but like, you know, like just your debit card, credit card. But I think he took credit card literally because he was like, I don't have a credit card. And I was like, what the fuck? But obviously I'm meaning like debit card, but I think he meant like an actual credit card. And so I was just like, oh, well, I think you can buy like a code at like Combini's or like the game store that's in town. And he was like, oh, okay, so I'll go do that then. And then a few days later, he's like, so I went to that store and I bought the DLC. And I was like, hell yeah. So I think that's funny. And then on New Year's Day, I didn't do anything. New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, I just stayed home and I was cleaning my apartment because, you know, New Year's cleaning. Did I mention that? When was the last episode? What did I talk about? I talked about the crazy coworkers that aren't my coworkers. When did that episode come out? Did that episode come out before Christmas or after? In my head, I think that, oh, you know, I can just look it up on my phone. Brief intermission while I look up when I uploaded the last episode. Because I'm talking and I'm like, did I talk about this stuff? Loose Thoughts Podcast. Where is it? Loose Thoughts. That episode came out December 29th. I hope I'm not being redundant. Well, that's not New Year's Eve, the 29th. What the heck am I talking about? Sorry. Anyways, did I mention the work party in that episode? I don't know. I haven't listened to it. I like uploaded it and I went on hiatus. And sorry if you guys heard that story again. That's kind of awkward. Anyways, New Year's Eve, I stayed home and I cleaned my apartment because New Year's, new cleaning. And the New Year's Day, I didn't do anything. I stayed home. And January 2nd, I don't think I did anything that day either. When did I? Okay, I'm lying. January 2nd, I went to a temple with a different coworker and his girlfriend, which low-key, so flashback to the work party. This is also the same coworker I went to the onsen with. For some reason, he likes to tell his girlfriend about me, and he'll mention that he told his girlfriend, and he'll say his girlfriend says things like, oh, Zion seems so cool, I want to meet him. And his girlfriend lives in Kyoto. And so part of me is just like, what the heck? Like, what is he telling her for her to say these things? Because I don't know. I don't see myself as some special individual. And so I'm like, hey, like, why are you telling her about me? And then why is she saying these things? And so he said some stuff like that again at the work party. And so he was like, oh, like, do you want to call my girl, or my girlfriend wants to call you? Can she like talk to you on the phone? And I'm like, what the fuck? Why? But I can't say no. And so I was like, sure, I guess, low-key hoping that he would forget about it and it would fall through. But he didn't. So at the karaoke bar that we were at, he calls her and he gives me the phone. And so I'm just like talking to this girl, random ass conversation. And so eventually that coworker, he invites me to go to Hatsumode. And Hatsumode is just like it means first shrine visit. Shrine? Temple? Shrine. Yes. First shrine visit of the year. Yes, Shinto shrine. Yes. First shrine visit. And so he invited me to do that with his girlfriend. And at first I thought, because like I said, his girlfriend lives in Kyoto. And so I was like, bruh, do you want me to like buy a Shinkansen ticket to Kyoto? Because that's expensive. But he said no in our prefecture and that his girlfriend was coming here. And I was like, oh, okay, period. And so on January 2nd, we did that. And it was fun. Nothing crazy. I got Daikichi, which means like big luck. I guess something like that. So at the shrines, there's this thing called omikuji, and it's just like a fortune. Think of it as kind of like a fortune cookie, if I'm being honest. And so you pull your fortune, you can get, I don't know all the levels, but there's like big luck, medium luck, normal luck, base luck, and bad luck, I think. I could be wrong. And I got Daikichi, which is big luck. And so you can interpret that as, oh, 2026 is about to be my year. Like, I'm about to be so lucky this year. Or you can interpret it as, I used all my good luck to pull Daikichi, and so now I will have a terrible year. But why would you think of it like that? 2026 is my year. I'm going to be big lucky this year. Big luck. Let's go big luck. And yes. And then after that, I go back to work. And it's just more desk warming. But then the next day, I'm at my elementary school. One of my coworkers that I talked to with is there. He wasn't there before New Year's break, but he was there after. And so low-key, here's a little bit of tea with the end of the year party. So my junior high school and my elementary school had their end of the year party on the same day. And I was like, fuck, this is kind of awkward because I kind of prefer my junior high school over my elementary school. Just because there's more teachers that I talk to and that I get along with at my junior high school opposed to my elementary school. And so I was like, I think I'm going to go to my junior high school. But one day when I was at work at my elementary school, this teacher, let's call him D Sensei. D Sensei, he comes up to me. He's like, hey, did you hear about the work party? And I was like, oh, no, not yet. Like, what about it? And so he tells me the details and stuff. And that was when I learned about it. And he was like, oh, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. Thanks for telling me. And he was like, so can you come? And I was like, oh, I don't know yet because my junior high school their work party is on the same day. So I'm not sure yet. And mind you, have you guys heard about how Japanese people don't directly say no to things? They'll like say no indirectly. For example, I saw a tweet and it was a tweet of a screenshot of a conversation. And it's this guy. Wait, I'm getting deja vu. Did I talk about this on the podcast before? If I did, I'm talking about it again. I'm sorry. And so it's this guy asking someone out. And he's like, hey, do you want to go out on December whatever day? And the person replies, and they're like, oh, if it's not cold, then I'll go that day. And that's like an indirect way of saying no. Because obviously it's going to be cold. It's in December. I'm getting massive deja vu. I hope I did not talk about this in the last episode. I'm low-key, maybe I did. If I did, I apologize. But so yeah. And so I feel like I was kind of saying no in an indirect way. But I feel like he clearly didn't pick up on it. And I think that's so funny that you have like Japanese people with this reputation for declining in indirect ways, but then when you do it to them, they don't pick up on it. And I'm like, what the fuck? But anyways, so that was kind of me saying like, oh, like I'm probably not going. Because I was like, oh, my junior high is having their party the same day, so I don't really know yet, blah, blah, blah. And so he says, oh, well, if it's on the same day, come to ours. And I was like, fuck. But I was like, okay, I'll see. And he like walks away to go do whatever the fuck he was gonna do. And so at that point, I was sitting at my desk and I was like, fuck, this is awkward, blah, blah, blah. But, and also this could be on my part because I never fully confirmed or denied anything. Like, it was just kind of up in the air. And so I already told you, I went to my junior high school's work party. So what did my elementary school do? I'm literally sitting at the restaurant. My phone is in my back pocket and it starts buzzing. And I was like, oh, like, what the fuck? Why is my phone buzzing? I pull my phone out. I look at it. It's D-Sensei. And he's calling me. And I was like, oh no. What the heck? And so I low-key have like really bad, I don't have really bad phone anxiety, but answering like phone calls low-key kind of makes me anxious. I don't know why, it just kind of does. And so I didn't want to answer it. And so I let it go to voicemail. He was calling me on Line. Line doesn't have voicemail, but I let it like end. And so then I go to text him, and as I'm like typing my text message, it rings again. And I was like, no, stop calling me. And so I like don't answer it again. And then I like quickly send a message, and I was like, and he like messaged me, and he was like, oh, like, are you able to come to our school's party? It's in, and it was low-key also kind of far. So like that's another reason why I didn't want to go. Low-key? Did I mention this? I feel like I talked about this in the last episode. Anyways, let's speed this up. He messaged me. I messaged him back. I was like, oh, sorry, I can't make it. Basically, that's what I said. And he was like, oh, okay, sorry. I'm sorry too. I let you know on a short notice, blah, blah, blah. And I felt so bad. And I was like, oh my God, my elementary school is going to hate me. Like, no one's gonna talk to me ever again. They think I bailed. Like I said, I don't know if they accounted for me and like it threw off the pricing. I really hope it didn't. I would feel so bad. No one said anything. I don't know. So I don't know if it did or not. Hopefully it didn't. But anyways, I was like, fuck. They're gonna hate me. They're gonna be like, fuck Zion for the rest of the school year, and it's gonna be hella awkward. Moral of the story, that doesn't make any sense. Fast forward to after the break, I go to my elementary school. Everything is fine and dandy, and me and D-Sensei are chatting it up about what we did during break. He went to Comiket, which is just like a big convention in Japan. I think it's like probably one of the biggest conventions for like doujinshi, which is like fan-made comic books and stuff like that. And he was talking about that, and we were just talking about like a bunch of other stuff. Like we were talking about Genshin and like that company and like their other games, because he used to play them too. He plays Zenless Zone Zero, I think that's what it's called. And so he was talking about that. We were looking at the characters, blah, 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 blah. And so we talked for like a good maybe like 30-40 minutes just about like stuff. And that felt like such a big relief off of my shoulders, because I was genuinely so worried about them giving me like the cold shoulder, not even just D-Sensei, like all the other teachers. And I was like so worried. No, especially D-Sensei though, because he literally said, if the parties are on the same day, come to this school's party. And I didn't tell him I went to my junior high school's party, but I just said I couldn't make it. And I just felt so bad, and I was like, fuck. But next party, even if they're on the same day, I'm gonna have to go to my elementary schools just because I feel bad. And plus, I think the next party might be the last, because April's coming up and I might switch schools, even though I really don't want to switch schools. I'll talk about that later. But yes, so the next party might be the last, and so I have to go just to enjoy it and let them know that I care about them and I love them too. Especially D-Sensei. D-Sensei, I love you. Not in a weird way. I just appreciate him because he's also really into Pokemon, and so we'll talk about Pokemon cards. A new set came out a couple days ago, and it has the Mega Starmie in it. Wait, did I talk about Mega Starmie in the Mega Evolution episode? I think so. So you guys know I don't like Mega Starmie. And so I sent him a picture of the card, and I was like, I got the one I hate. And he was like, I did too, but it's so strong. And so when I saw him today, because I went to that school, we like talked about it. So yeah, that was a big relief off my shoulders. I was so relieved. I was like, thank God they don't hate me and we can still talk normally. And then classes started again, and it was just normal classes. So yeah, which low-key, that was only the beginning of January. But if I'm being honest, nothing exciting has happened. Oh, New Year's. Let's talk about my New Year's resolutions. Even though, like I said before, January is not happening or did not happen. And so let's start my New Year's resolutions this week, or I guess technically next week, because next week is February. And so I want to try, I genuinely want to try and do it just for the sake of me, because that's what New Year's resolutions are for, right? And so my first New Year's resolution was I want to get back into working out, and it was to do at least 30 minutes of exercise, even if it's just in my apartment. So at least 30 minutes every day in my apartment. And I did this this month, but only for 2 days. I downloaded this app called Better Me because I'm always seeing ads for it on Instagram. And I think the ads are for at-home workouts. And so I was like, oh, this app will probably be really useful. Spoiler alert, you have to pay for the daily workout stuff. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. What the F? And so I used the free trial. The free trial was for a week, but I only did it for 2 days. Oopsies. But that's because one of the days, mind you, I had just started it. And it was this hard ass workout. And I was like, bro, I thought you were going to ease me into it. And so the next day, I was a little sore. I wasn't too sore, but I was a little sore. But that's also how you know it's working and you're feeling the burn. But that was an intense workout. And so it made me not want to do it. It made me not want to do it again. Also, the fact that it was a free trial, it was going to run out anyway. And so I think I'm just going to do some research and try to find an app that I don't have to pay for, or just find a routine on online and print it out, or not necessarily print it out, but and follow that. Or shit, just pull up random workout videos on YouTube. I could so do that. I might do that. That's a good idea, Zion. Random workout videos. But yeah, that was my main New Year's resolution. Because, yeah, I could go to the gym. I do still have a membership, and I do still pay for it. But I don't know. Going to the gym makes me, I don't know. I feel so shy. Especially because I know some of the teachers that I work with, they also go to the same gym. And part of me wants to ask them to teach me weight training and stuff like that. But then another part of me is just oh, I'm going to see them at the gym and it's going to be weird. Even I don't think it would be weird because they're not weird. One of them, he would probably say hi and maybe we would talk. And the other one, I feel if I saw him, we would just acknowledge it. I'd be oh, hey. And he'd be hi. And then we would just do our own things. But I don't know. I just feel so embarrassed, kind of. I don't know. Maybe that's something that I have to work on. But yeah, maybe one day I will go back to the gym. Maybe. But also another thing is that it's a small gym. And so it gets crowded fast. And the time that I would go is after work. So that's 4, 5, 6 p.m. But then that's also the time that everyone else is out of work. And that's the time they go. And so it gets crowded. And so a crowded gym just feeds my anxiety. And also it's small. So all the machines and shit are going to be taken. And that's icky. And so the thing for me, I was trying to find like a good time to go. Cause like I would want to go after work. But like that's, like I just said, that's the crowded time. And so I could go like late at night at like maybe like 10 o'clock. But then that's also not really good because that'd be cutting into my sleep time. Because like say if I wake up at 7 to get, the body requires 8 hours of sleep. Not saying I get 8 hours. Who actually gets 8 hours of sleep aside from like children? But say if I wanted to get 8 hours of sleep, I would have to be asleep by 11 and then I wake up at 7 and then boom, 8 hours. But if I go to the gym at 10 o'clock, and I would want to work out for at least like an hour and a half, I would finish my workout at 11:30, leave the gym, probably get back home at like 11:45-ish. Then I would still have to shower and get ready for bed. So I probably wouldn't be in bed until like not noon, midnight. But knowing me, it would probably take longer. And so say I'm in bed by 12:30 and I go to sleep and I wake up at 7. That's only, what is that, 6.5 hours? Sorry, my brain shut down. I can't do math. Ouch. A rubber band just popped in my hand. Anyways, I don't know. I feel like that wouldn't be good because I'm not a morning person. And so I don't want to wake up in the morning either. Or like, I don't want to wake up already. And I feel like me getting fewer and fewer hours of sleep, that's just not a good decision. It's not a good mix. Like, I would be late for work every day. And then I was also thinking about, like, what if I go to sleep early and then wake up early, like wake up at like 5 a.m. and then I can go to the gym for like an hour and a half. Then I can finish at 7, shower, or because the gym has showers. And so I could work out. Maybe I could work out until like 7:30. Say I wake up, I go to the gym at 6 a.m. and I could work out until like 7:30, shower, and then go directly from the gym to work. I feel like that would be such a perfect schedule. But I'm not a morning person. I like literally cannot wake up in the morning. I feel like even if I get 8 hours of sleep, if I have to wake up at like 6 or 7 a.m., it's not going to happen. And so I don't want to try and make that type of schedule because I feel like I would be setting myself up for failure because I know I wouldn't wake up in the morning. That's why I don't do it, because I'm not going to wake up in the morning. And so I just have to figure something out. I don't know. I feel like the best scenario should just get over myself and go when it's crowded. But I also feel like that's very impossible. That's why I want to do the home workouts. Because that's the best scenario for me. Like, just buy some home weights and then do shit with that in the luxury of my own home. I could so do that. So that's why that's my New Year's resolution. Home workouts for at least 30 minutes a day. It's easy. I was also thinking about getting like a little walk pad or like a treadmill, not like a super big treadmill, but like a cheaper treadmill for like maybe $100-$200 for my apartment. And I could just walk. I could do so much more walking, especially now because it's cold. I'm not going to walk outside. I'm not going to walk outside anyway. Where the hell am I going to go? There's like a park and stuff. I know some other people that like go out and walks, but why would I walk outside when I can walk in my apartment? And I can just set it up like in front of my TV and just watch movies while I'm walking. That sounds so good. I should invest in one. Maybe I will. I'll let you guys know. But yeah, and that was really just my main and only New Year's resolution. Another one was to be more positive. I don't think I'm that much of a negative person, but I guess just more positivity towards myself, towards my appearance, my mindset, Just be more positive in general. What else was there? Be kind. No, I'm joking. I'm already kind. But yeah. To close out this episode, I will talk about what I mentioned earlier about switching schools in April. I touched on it a little bit when in like maybe the first episode of the first episode of the podcast was the Pokemon one, right? Like naming the Pokemon I hate. Maybe in the second episode. But because I started the podcast like right after I switched schools, it's almost been a year since the Loose Thoughts podcast, guys. That's crazy. Anyways, in April, all the ALTs that work for my city's Board of Education, we switched schools. At least last April we did. And last April. Last April, and then the April before. That was the first time I switched. And then it was last April. And then it's going to be this April. I hate switching schools because I spent all this time, the whole year, at these schools, bonding with the students, bonding with the teachers. And I'm the type of person to get attached very easily. So you can only imagine how attached I am after a whole year of working with these teachers and working with these students, getting to know everyone and just building that relationship, just having to leave and possibly never seeing any of them ever again. That's a little dramatic, but that's how I process it in my head, and I really don't like it. And so for this upcoming April, I'm like really hoping, well, I'm going to do more than hope, because hoping isn't going to get me anywhere. But I'm hoping I don't have to switch. And I also want to talk to someone about not switching. And so I think I'm going to message my supervisor. Because in the past, our supervisor, like if you mention it, she's just like, oh, I'm not the one who makes the schedule. So like, whatever. She's like, it's out of my hands. But I also think that's kind of crazy because she's our supervisor. So then like, if she's our supervisor, who the fuck is making the schedule? And like, put me in contact with them. Like, let me sit down with them and give them a piece of my mind. But yeah. So, pretty soon, actually, since it's already gonna be February, and then it'll be March, and then March is when graduation and stuff is, and then that's spring break. And then at the end of March is when we find out, when we get our new schedule, and that's when we find out our new schools, which low-key, I think last year, it was like a week before April 1st, because on April 1st is when we start the new schedule. And so on April 1st, it doesn't matter if it's in the middle of the week. That is when we start the new schedule and we go to our new schools. So I think last year we learned maybe like a week and a half before April 1st. And that's so abrupt. And I really didn't like that. So at the end of the school year, there's the closing ceremonies, and there's like a little portion where the staff that are leaving, they get to say, it's like a goodbye speech, a farewell speech basically. And so they can address like the students, the staff, blah, blah, blah in this speech. And so that is when the students end classes. And that might be around like somewhere around March 20th or something like that. And so last year, the ALTs, we didn't know if we were leaving our schools or not by that time. And so, at least for me, I didn't partake in the farewell ceremony, in like the goodbye speeches, because I didn't know if I was leaving or not. And why, say if I wasn't leaving and I give the speech, that would be kind of awkward. Like the students would come back and be like, what the F? But then it's also like, because I didn't give a speech, people are assuming I'm staying. And also, I just didn't get a proper goodbye. Like, I didn't get to say goodbye to the students because I found out I was switching after the fact. After the students had already stopped coming to school. And so I don't know. For me, like I said, I didn't really like that because I have this relationship with the students. And like I'm the type of person, like I'm always talking with the students during their breaks. I'll like go and play games with them, talk to them. I'll join like their gym classes sometimes. When it's snowing, I'll go outside and play with the students. And so that kind of really hurt my heart a little bit, not being able to say goodbye to them properly. And so I think that kind of sucks. And so if they're going to switch us, at least let us know way beforehand, because that's fucked up. Like maybe some ALTs don't care about that type of stuff, but like I do. And so I would appreciate it if they could let us know beforehand. But anyways, back to what I was saying, I don't want to switch. And so I'm going to message my supervisor and being like, hey, like, I know you don't make the schedule. I had a stroke saying that. I know you don't make the schedule, but can you get me into contact with who does? Or like, can you pass this message? But I'm also kind of worried, like, if I ask her to relay the message, she'll like say she will, but she won't. I don't know. She doesn't come off as like shady like that. But at the same time, our supervisor is kind of like very like infamous for doing the bare minimum. And so I feel like she wouldn't want to not necessarily make a problem, but I feel like she wouldn't want to do more than what she has to. So if like all she has to do is just give us the schedule, she's not going to want to like talk to someone and be like, hey, like this person wants to stay at these schools and like that type of stuff like that. But I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm going to try my hardest. Guys. But yeah, I'm going to message her. I'm going to be like, I feel like I'm repeating myself. I'm sorry. I'm going to be like, hey, you don't make the schedule, but can you put me in contact with someone who does? Or if you can't, let them know this is how I feel. And like, if it's possible to request a place, like I want to request to stay at my schools. And then if it comes down to it, there are some schools with a JTE, a Japanese teacher, who's kind of infamous for being like a little problematic. I've never worked with her, but I was like, I really want to stay at my junior high school. That's like the main school I want to stay. I love my elementary school too, but if I had to choose, I would want to stay at my junior high school. And the 6th graders at my elementary school go to this junior high school, so I would still see them. But I do really love the students at my elementary school though. So I would be really sad. And the teachers, I would be really sad if I had to leave. But if it came down to it, I was going to tell my supervisor, if I can stay at my junior high school, I will go to the elementary schools with the problematic JTE. Because a lot of other ALTs like complain about this JTE. But this JTE has kids that are at my current elementary school, and I get along with her kids, and so I feel like that kind of already puts me on a good side with this teacher, because she loves her kids and her kids love me, hopefully. And so I was like, oh, then you guys don't have to worry about any other ALTs complaining, because I am the best ALT, period. No, I'm joking. But I don't know. I feel like I'd be able to deal with her and not complain about it like the other ALTs are, because they're weak. They're so weak-minded. Like, I already talked about it in the last episode, but there's more I could talk about that I don't really want to, because I don't want to get in trouble. I wouldn't get in trouble, but I don't want to cause drama, because whatever. But yeah, I feel like I would be able to deal with this JTE. And so they'd be like, oh, Zion would work well with her, so let's put him with her and keep him at the school that he wants. But what if I say that and they like don't keep me at the school that I want and they give me her anyway? That would be fucked up. That would be so fucked up. And I would break contract and go back to America. Don't play with me. But yeah, and then also I was thinking, next time I see the superintendent of the Board of Education, because sometimes she'll randomly pop up at the schools, but I low-key want to think about asking her, because I feel like if I voice my opinion to her, she'll understand me, she'll hear me. I feel like she's also very fond of me. She's always smiling and waving at me. That could also just be her personality, and I'm extremely narcissistic, but whatever, let me believe my truth. I feel like she would listen to me and hear me out and be like, oh, Zion really likes this school. And from what I've seen, because like I said, she's always there. Not always, but she has shown up a few times. And so she's like, and from what I've seen, the students and teachers really like him too, so let's keep him there. But then I also think that could work against me because they're like, oh, the students and teachers at this school love Zion. Let's put Zion at this school so we can also get these students excited about English. And so they'll love him too. And these teachers will love him too. Or they're like, oh, he can assimilate so easily. He can go anywhere. So let's put him at these schools. No, I don't want that. I want to stay at the schools I'm at now. So please keep me here. And that is where we end this episode. Guys, please pray for me because I swear, I don't know. If I don't end up at the schools I want to be at, I fear I'm going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Severely. I almost said aggressively depressed. That's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be severely depressed and I don't know what I'll do. So please, please, please pray for me. Pray for me. But that's all for this episode. Another New Year's resolution is to release more frequent episodes. So I know I said I wouldn't promise anything like the fanfics, but I will try to promise more episodes. No more dark ages, no more hiatuses, no more loose thoughts droughts. Let's keep this river flowing. Open the floodgates. And yeah, next episode will be something. I'm either going to do things I hate in Japan, or let me not say hate, that's a strong word. Things that annoy me about Japan, or crazy things my students said to me. Because they be saying some crazy shit, and I just want to pop them in their mouth. Some of them have been really annoying me these past couple of days, but I won't get into that. But okay, thanks so much for making it all the way to the end of this episode. I appreciate you so much. I apologize deeply for the hiatus. It won't happen again. It might happen again. But I appreciate and I love you for coming back every time for a new episode. Thank you. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye-bye.